Hey, welcome back to another episode of Cast with Friends with your host and proprietor, Jose Alvarado. This week, our guest is my friend Ryan, coming back for another week, and we're just going to be talking about a lot of different topics today. Anything from astronomy to physics to skydiving and anthropology. I hope you guys enjoy it. Why do people like shiny things? I feel like there's an actual reason to it. Like, there has to be some reason that people... Why do people like shiny things? Is it the allure? Research... Here's journals from Sage Pub. Researchers in the evolutionary aesthetics tradition have suggested that people prefer shiny objects because glossiness connotes water. We consider some methodological issues in past research and present and experiment that manipulated the glossiness of metal objects. So, it seems like an innate thing that only came into effect recently. Like, humans probably liked the shininess of water, like the sun reflecting off the water, and they liked water, so it's like one and one put together, they're gonna like the shininess too. I don't know.
You know the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
But it seems to me like whenever you're out in like nature or something, like so many people see that like nature is just like is beauty in itself. And I feel like the reason why is because like nature itself is beautiful because it's a balance. Like, it's a perfect balance because it's the only reason why it exists. It's like there's a balance of like chemicals, a balance of like physics and like everything that came together to form that, and that's why we're infatuated by like natural things. Like how like water's shiny, so we like shiny things, like you're saying.
Right.
Or like I don't know, we're amazed by like large like mountains and like things like that. It's like we like things in bulk. That's why we buy Costco shit.
We do like things in bulk. How could you not? But here's a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, a philosopher. He says that nature is beautiful because it is alive, moving, and reproductive. In nature, we observe growth and development in living things, contrasted with the static and deteriorating state of the vast majority of which is man-made.
Yes.
Which I kind of see, but like, I guess like the state of nature. I mean, the state of nature is dependent on life. If there is no life, there is no nature. Wait, actually, I don't know. Is that true? Because
what's your
is a huge pile of rocks named the Grand Canyon nature without life? Like
we gave it a name. We gave it like that title.
I guess this is more of a if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound type of question? Like, if there is no human to observe it, is it art?
Is it art? Oh, okay.
If there's no human to perceive something, is it art? Is it nature? I don't know. I think a collection of like, there's some big rock in space.
The moon?
That too. I mean, there's a bunch of rocks in space.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do we consider that nature? Like, is an asteroid... I don't know. What is nature? I mean, this is such a...
definition of nature.
Yeah.
Or, like, searching up the dictionary stuff, like, word after word, like, one word leads.
So, in the dictionary, nature is the phenomena of the physical world collectively, including plants, animals, and the landscape, and other features and products of the earth as opposed to human or human creations. So I guess rocks and like just anything can be nature. But I don't really know. It says as opposed to human and human creations. Is that saying humans and human creations are not nature? I don't like that point, because if our ancestors were a product of nature and biology and evolution, and we are a product of them, and then that means we are a part of nature.
Yeah,
now then we were created by nature, and if we are created by nature, then we are nature, and then by that definition, anything we create is also nature.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But wait. So what they said that anything that humans create is not nature?
Yeah. So it says the phenomena of the physical world, including plants, animals, landscapes, as opposed to humans or human creations. So they don't see human and human creations in the same definition as nature.
I see.
I don't agree with that, but whatever.
Like I can see how they think that way. Like we manipulate nature, and so it's not natural.
Well.
But again, no, I know what you're saying. Like we are a product of it, so anything that we create is in turn still like a natural thing.
But by your definition, beavers manipulate nature to create dams.
Right.
Dams aren't a natural thing. Well, I mean, not completely, but...
Well, if a tree falls on a river, I mean, like, there's a dam.
Yeah, I mean, but by whose definition? Like, a dam is, like... Beavers build a dam for a specific reason, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
Is a dam nature? Is a beaver dam nature? Considered nature?
I think so. So... I don't know. I guess nature is whatever you want it to be. Nature is subjective.
Nature is subjective.
Because would you consider a computer nature?
Well, you can't go outside and look in a rock and be like, oh, hey, a computer. But.
Right.
But. I mean, like, it is made of minerals. It is made of, like, certain, like, aspects of nature that has been, like, built. And I mean, like, nature builds things all the time. It builds mountains. It builds, like, waterways.
Right.
It, like, animals build their own nests and, like, dams and things like that. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a difference between natural and nature.
When does...
Natural.
When does...
It's a great...
Yeah, it is a great... There's a lot of gray area.
There's a lot of gray.
When does something become not natural?
Yeah. They're probably going to say, like, once a human has, like, touched it.
So something that is natural is existed or caused by nature, not by humankind.
But it is in our nature to create, to progress.
Very deep, Freinds. That was very deep. There's a lot out there. There's a lot to figure out. A lot of nature. It's crazy. It's crazy that we haven't even explored, like, most of the ocean.
I know, like, what the fuck's down there?
Everyone's so entertained with the idea of space that we completely forgot about the oceans.
Yeah, there's still parts of our planet that haven't even been explored.
Exactly.
Or documented, at least.
80% of the ocean remains unexplored.
What? But, like water is always moving. How, like, and like, what about, like, just, like, the landmass of what's underwater, or, like, creatures?
Like the area section.
The area section has not been, like, physically seen or documented by humans.
Right. So, like, there's this, like, lower half of the ocean that's really hard to get into because of the pressure, and, like, we can't really get humans down there, like, we have to build machines, but that takes money, and it's a lot. But somehow it's easier to go up into space. I don't know. I don't really get it, but...
Yeah, wait, what the fuck?
I don't
know. Water There is more atmospheric pressure underwater, yeah, than there is in space.
Well,
there's a shitload of heat coming back.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess the biggest problem of why we haven't explored the ocean is the depth is just so hard to get into. But it's easier to launch an object outside or like through Earth's gravitational pull.
Right.
It's a lot easier to sling something out of of gravity than it is to like go under pressure.
So gravity is like affected by mass, yeah.
Right.
But so if you, let's say, like detach from like the space station, would you eventually come back to Earth, or would you continuously just like flow because there's not enough gravity for you because there's not enough mass in you to move you? Or like, because I mean like the mass of the Earth is always spinning around the sun, and like its mass is huge,
right,
but it's small compared to the sun,
right?
So I mean, like, if the like, are we smaller than, let's say, the like, I want to say correlation, but it's not like correlation. I guess is our size relative to the Earth about the same size as Earth relative to the sun?
No. So the sun, our Earth is a lot closer to the size of the sun than we are to the size of the Earth. So, in the gravity from sun to Earth is a lot stronger than the gravity from us to the Earth. So it would take.
But that's just because of our mass. But does that mean we're still being affected by Earth's gravity to a degree?
Yeah,
and even
so
the sun as well?
We are the main force of our gravity. What keeps us, our gravity is from the Earth,
right?
And then that's the only thing affecting us, really.
Right.
But then the Earth is affected by the sun. We're not really so much gravitationally affected by the sun. Like, if you had...
So, like, well, because we're so close, it's like we are, like, our distance relative to the Earth, even though we're, like, standing right on it, is, like, more so, or is greater than, like, the gravity that is acted upon the Earth by the sun. Right.
So, well, there's also, like... because Earth is so big and it has its own gravitational field, we don't feel the effects of the sun.
Right.
Its own gravitational field.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, they have their own separate, yeah.
Yeah. So the sun is 109 times wider than the Earth. And
109 times wider than the Earth. A person would be like...
And then...
a million.
So the Earth is the size of 3.5 million humans. Well, 3.5 times larger. Like, I think it's the volume, I guess. So like you would have to fit 3.5 million humans in an Earth like shaped ball.
Aren't there more than that people? Like, aren't we at 5
right, but like
billion?
the volume and surface area are different, right?
Yeah, true. But I mean, if
it does seem a little weird. That does sound.
That seems like there should be more volume than there should be surface area.
Well, if human, maybe, I don't know.
Are you sure they're not talking about like distance from one side of the Earth to the
maybe
other
it is
side?
talking about like height or like
Like it's like diameter.
Yeah, maybe it is not volume, but still the ratios are
totally
different. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
109 times 3.5 million.
True. But so let's say if you were a human that was 103, what is it, time? Or
39.5 million or something.
Well, if you were the same
size of the
same size as the Earth is to the sun, and you were out in space, would you be acted upon in Earth's gravitation?
Okay, so let's say you just popped up in our solar system, you just got transported, and all of a sudden you're the size of the Earth. Would you get spun into that rotation?
Of the Earth?
Of the sun? Into the gravitational pull of the sun? Like, basically becoming another planetary object? Is that what you're asking? Like, would you just be rotating around the sun?
I guess which one would have the a greater pull?
Well, it depends how big you are.
Okay. Yeah,
because after a certain size, you're going to become too big for the Earth to pull you around.
Right.
Right? That's why we're not rotating around Mars or something, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, Jupiter is freaking massive.
And it's still following Sun's gravitational...
But isn't it... It's got to be affected a little bit by us.
I think there is some intergravitational forces. There are definitely some intergravitational forces that happen between planets. But the greater force is the one, like...
that takes over.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I'm sure the distance between planets is affected by the gravitational energy between those planets, and like that's why you see different lengths between the planets.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Or even paths that are taken around the sun, depending on the size.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But so, okay, Earth's gravitational pull gets weaker as you get more so out into space, and it changes throughout the atmospheres, right? Or is it as soon as you get out of like our atmosphere, you're totally just... Because I mean, there's still a pull.
Right. So the only reason Pluto is in our solar system is because it's small enough that it can still be affected. Like if Pluto was an X amount larger, then it would probably not
break
be
away.
Exactly. Yeah. It would probably break away. But because Pluto is just small enough, just the right size, and because it's also far, there's enough happening there that it can still be in the system.
But so if you were, let's say, falling through a portion of our atmosphere that never ended, would your speed be different than if you were in a closer atmosphere? And you were constantly
So if an
falling?
asteroid went through like
what are the different, like, there's stratosphere?
Well, are you talking about for a specific planet?
I'm talking more about the Earth, I guess, in this instance.
So, are you saying if a asteroid came into Mars, depending on its trajectory and which atmosphere or which section of that atmosphere it hit, how would it hit us?
No, I mean, like, would the speed change? Is, like, because gravity has its own speed, and when you fall from the sky, you fall at the speed of gravity's, like...
Pulling you down. And then you get to a terminal velocity, depending on your mass.
Exactly.
Right, so, yeah. Our atmospheres do have a different density, so once your first initial dive into it, it would be fast, and then you would slow down as you get closer, and the atmosphere thickens. So you would change velocity.
Change velocity and different.
Yeah.
If you were in a certain atmosphere falling for eternity, let's say.
Right. So if you dropped it from this point versus this point versus this point,
yeah,
it would be different velocities. Yes. Well, terminal or initial velocities. Yes. Because once you get to a certain velocity, you can't go any faster.
Well, yeah. But
so
I guess
the initial drop.
But those, okay, I guess what I mean is like the terminal velocity of each atmosphere would be different.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because I think at a certain point gravity takes over, is like the main factor in that. because
even if there was no end, even if you were just
at a certain point you reach a terminal velocity, and that's the velocity you're going to be constantly falling at, no matter the height.
Right. So would you say then that still you would fall at a different rate of change than if you were in a different
atmosphere?
Atmosphere.
Yeah. Like if you're falling through a clear sky versus falling through thick clouds, your velocity will change.
But wouldn't air molecules be resistance upon that too? So I mean that's even more of a factor of you would either fall faster with less molecules.
Yeah.
Within
So
the
that's
air.
Drag and surface area. That is a factor. It's weird. Have you ever been skydiving? Would you ever go skydiving?
I have gone skydiving.
You have gone diving? Oh yeah, you did go. How was that?
That was fun. It was a wild ride because in the beginning you don't know what's going on, and then as soon as the parachute hits, then it's like a total slowdown.
Yeah.
Everything goes from super fast, rushing by your face, to just calm, and you're just kind of floating. It's cool. It's strange. It's a strange feeling.
That's pretty sick.
But free fall is crazy.
Wow.
I highly recommend.
Yeah, I definitely want to skydive at some point in life. I definitely want to do that.
I kind of hate how you can't go by yourself because
it is pretty dangerous, so I get it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, you gotta watch your altitude and stuff like that, whatnot, and know how to land. You land wrong, that's not good.
Yeah, there's been so many horror stories. Well, not so many, but there's enough horror stories for.
But it's weird how you can land and still live if you land just right,
and you're lucky enough.
Yeah, and you're
spread the hit well enough.
Yeah, that it disperses somehow evenly throughout your body. You're gonna still be fucked up.
Yeah, you're definitely breaking a couple of things, but you won't be dead.
Yeah, you won't be dead, which is miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't there been 2 or 3 cases or something of that?
Yeah. I've seen a couple stories where people survive from
You want to aim for the grassy fields.
Yeah, surviving a parachute failure. Yep. 2006, Michael Holmes survived a parachuting accident. Fell 1,500 feet. Survived. Wow. Could you imagine?
You know those Squirrel Suits?
Yeah.
And you know how I remember either making paper planes and trying to get it to always maintain an up and then a down and up and down. So I wonder if you were coming in at a steep angle, but enough so still that you could pull up just before you hit the ground. If you could slow yourself down enough on the upstroke that you could level out and fall at a slower rate.
Oh, right. It's
so that you're not so that it's not an immediate impact. It's more of a slow, gradual, and then maybe probably in the end you're still gonna hit the ground pretty hard, but not as much so as if you're just coming straight down.
I'm sure it's possible. Physically, it's possible, but probably the amount of skill and body control and strength it would take to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, that would take a lot of
something. I don't know, but
But if you could get a plane to do that, I mean planes are weak in the fact that they can't handle that much stress going down and then immediately up, and then your body has to handle the G-forces, so there's that.
Right.
But somehow if you could manage that, that'd be wild. But I guess since it's not been done, that it's not really that logical.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But who knows? Maybe someday we'll have some crazy squirrel suits or flying cars or whatever the case might be.
There's already a guy with a jetpack.
The jetpacks are so crazy. The water jetpacks, all those crazy things.
But you only get 5 to 10 minutes of air time or something, which kind of sucks.
It does. But it's only the beginning. I'm sure in like 20 years it'll be a crazy thing. People will be using it everywhere.
You gotta make the Tony Stark.
Right.
Like constant energy.
That'd be so sick. That's the nuclear energy. That's where that comes in. Man. All right. Well, this has been another episode. Thank you guys for coming back.
Really?
Cast with Friends.
Oh god, dude.
We appreciate you guys. This is me signing off, Jose Alvarado. Appreciate it. Love you guys. Thanks.
You're actually recording that though.